Committee reports, legislative update, Mrs. Shorter.
Yes, let's see. Yes, I do have a couple of things. Thank you, Mr. Burton. I wanted to talk a little bit about the CARES Act funds for K through 12 education. Monday, the Ohio Controlling Board approved requests to appropriate additional CARES Act funding in the amount of $100 million for K through 12 schools. Now, this funding comes from the Coronavirus Relief Fund of the CARES Act and is separate from the $440 million recently allocated from the Elementary and Secondary School Education Relief Fund. So these funds are allocated to districts using a base amount established by fiscal year 2019 enrollment data from the state report card, which additional money provided to districts to support economically disadvantaged students, so students with disabilities and English learners, as well as transportation obligations. So these funds are limited in purpose and must be used for expenses as protective equipment, cleaning, sanitation, and remote learning. So the Ohio Department of Education has informed us that additional guidance will be released next week about how schools and districts will accept these funds and begin to draw the coronavirus relief funds down. Federal guidance states that funds may only be used to cover previously unbudgeted costs of necessary expenditures incurred due to the COVID-19 public health emergency between March 1st and December 30th, 2020. And I have a list here that they provided of just more specifics about what the funds are allowed to cover. That I'll try to get a copy of this into Nancy. And Nancy, if you already have this?
I already have that. Thank you.
Alrighty. So they are actually moving through with that, but as it's stated, those funds are designated to specifically be used for certain things. Another thing that I wanted to bring to your attention, and this is in regards to EdChoice, and just some of the movements by the U.S. Supreme Court recently, and some of their decisions that pertain to public schools and private schools and funding. Most of you know that EdChoice here is being legally challenged, and in spite of COVID-19 delays, that lawsuit is still moving forward. I know some have probably heard about the recent decision by the United States Supreme Court as it pertains to Montana. I just wanted to give you a little bit of information about that because it will not impact the legislation or the legalities that are happening here with EdChoice. It's a different issue. So the U.S. Supreme Court decision in Espinosa versus Montana Department of Revenue has no effect on the efforts of school districts in Ohio to challenge the EdChoice voucher program. The Supreme Court struck down the Montana Supreme Court's decision that disallowed tax credit vouchers for private religious schools. And the difference is the Montana Supreme Court basically is saying that because there was basically a complete elimination of religious schools from receiving any of the funds, basically they had a sectarian purpose. The funds were forbidden if there was any sectarian purpose. That's not the case for Ohio. Ohio does allow private schools to receive tax credits. Montana did not. So although the state of Montana did not win in that decision, it doesn't impact what we're doing here. Not what we are specifically doing, but what's happening here from some in the legal field that are challenging EdChoice. And everyone knows that we've had our hands full in dealing with the whole voucher issue here. It's definitely recently impacted us. And so we're going to keep an eye on the legislation as it moves forward. We'll see what happens. And that's it.
Thank you, Mrs. Shorter. Any questions for Mrs. Shorter? Okay, thank you. Butler Tech update. The August 11th is the scheduled first day of school for Butler Tech students. And the Board of Education will get the reopening plan at our July 21st meeting. So we'll have a similar meeting just like tonight coming up on Tuesday. And so plans will be announced after that as far as what direction Butler Tech will go as far as opening classes. Any questions? Okay, Planning Commission, Mr. Begley? Mr. Begley, you're muted.
Pardon me. Planning Commission did meet last week, a few minor modifications, nothing that affects the school system. Thank you.
Any questions for Mr. Begley? Okay, thank you. Student achievement update, our favorite part of the evening, Mrs. O'Neill.
So
It truly is the favorite part.
it is, it's my
really
favorite
is.
part as well. It's my
Yeah.
favorite part as well. I have been traveling for like the past month, so I don't have any student achievement for this month, but what I promised you is I will have 2 student achievements
Okay.
for next month. I promise.
Okay.
Okay? So it'll be double your favorite time next month.
Great.
Okay? Promise.
Thank you.
Cross
very-
my heart.
Thank you very much.